Welcome to Paris, France. Now this video is going to show you how to get to the Stade de France from downtown Paris using the RER B line. Let's go!
I was just a glimmer back in 69. Thank you.
Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Paris, France. This video is going to be talking about how we get from Paris city center up to the Stade de France. Now we have a map here for some context. I have circled Paris. This next slide here, the Stade de France, I circle it. It is approximately 8 kilometers north of downtown Paris. I have circled the Stade de France on this slide, and I will circle this section here. This is Le Plan Stade de France RERB stop. I want this video to demonstrate that arriving at the RER spot here is the quickest, easiest, and safest way to get from downtown Paris to the Stade de France. This is a map of the Paris RER lines. The RER B line is the blue line. My apartment is beside the Saint-Michel Notre Dame stop. It is circled here. This video will take you from out front of the Notre Dame Cathedral. We will go up a number of stops on the RER B line to this area right here, La Plaine, Stade de France. We will get off the RER. We'll walk together the approximate 800 meters from the RER B line stop up to the Stade de France. It's a straight line right up the street. Here is the last slide before we start our walk. This is a linear diagram of the RER B. And I have circled right here, and this is where we're going to start it from. Notre Dame, Saint-Michel stop, that's where I'm going to get on it. And we are going to go up to this area right here, La Plaine Stade de France. Now, this is where I'm coming from today. You may be coming from this section right here, the airport. And you might be getting off a plane, coming down to the Stade de France, and I'm not sure why. It could be a concert, it could be a major sporting event, could be the Olympics, could be the Rugby 2003 World Cup, I don't know. But I just want to let you know that along this RER B here, you've got the Charles de Gaulle stop up here that I've circled. You also have this section down here, which is the Orly Airport. So if you're coming into a flight into Orly, you can get on the RER B and you can head right to the Stade de France. You also, I'm going to circle this section right here. Now this is the Gare du Nord. This is the busiest train station in Europe. You may be coming down from Amsterdam or from Belgium or somewhere in northern France. You would probably be stopping here in the Gare du Nord. And if you were and you were getting off your train from somewhere in Europe, then you could just get on the RER and you could go up one stop to the Stade de France. Let's start the walk video in front of Notre Dame, one of the most beautiful cathedrals in the world. We're going to veer to our left here, go across the street. We're going to go down into the RER B line. I've been living beside Notre Dame for the last 2 months, so that's why I'm using the RER B line, Saint-Michel Notre Dame stop. Your situation may be different from mine. Like I said when I was talking about the slides and the maps, you may be coming from a different part of Paris. But my advice is somehow get to the RER B line using one of your metro lines, using a bus, or walking to it, because once you get to the RER B line, it's a straight shot, it's an easy shot, it's just the most convenient to get up to the Stade de France, La Plaine stop there. And once you get off there, it is super easy because you're going to go straight up one street for about 800 meters and there's the stadium. We are heading down the stairs into the RER B line. Just going to read something here. It says the Paris RER operates a train from Saint-Michel Notre Dame to La Plaine Stade de France every 10 minutes. Tickets cost 2 to 4 euros and the journey takes 11 minutes. Take a few more steps here, continue on. We're going to have a look at these ticket machines here. There's 3 of them there. You can get your ticket in English or whatever language you want. They're pretty simple. We know that they're going to cost 2 to 4 euros, and I have a monthly pass. It cost me 75 euros, like I said, for the month, and it's been a good deal for me. So I'm going to scan mine, and then we're going to just head her on through and we'll get on the RER train. We're gonna head down the escalators here, and you've got to be thinking RER B line. Either you're going one way, which is towards Charles de Gaulle Airport, which would be north, or you're heading towards Orly Airport, which would be south. Now we know that we're going to be heading north towards the Charles de Gaulle. The Stade de France stop is north of us, 3 stops. So we're going to make sure we come up to this sign here, and we can see Saint Michel, it's dark in there, Notre Dame, and then we can see it says Châtelet, then Gare du Nord, and then La Plaine, Stade de France, and that's where we want to get to. We see the arrow pointing to the left, so we're going to head that way, and we're going to get on that train. So make sure you get on the train that's going the right way, whether it be north or south or east or west. Make sure you see the stop that you're going to on that diagram. A train just left. We look up at the screen. It says Aeroporto Charles de Gaulle. The next one comes in 12 minutes. We waited for our 12 minutes. We got on it.
Stade de France. La Plaine, Stade de France.
3 stops later, 11 minutes later, we arrive at the Stade de France, La Plaine, RER B stop. We're going to try and leave the station here, and we are going to walk up one street that's going to take us up to the Stade de France, so come along for a little walk. Now I imagine if you're getting off this train and you are going to a concert at the Stade de France, a soccer game, a rugby game, one of the Olympics events that's happening at the Stade de France, I imagine there's going to be thousands of people getting off this train with you. You will just have to flow with them, watch when everybody goes, and you know everybody's heading to the Stade de France. Now today, there's nobody around, because we came out one morning and we just kind of want to walk around here because we're coming back here for a few events in the next little while, and we wanted to do a video just to show people how to get around. So we're going to have to try and find our way to the Stade de France and make sure we're going the right way, but it is so easy. We got off the train here, went down, hung a right, and we just walked towards the Stade de France. So I imagine that most of you getting off this RER B line here at this stop, going to a major event at the Stade de France, will be with thousands of other people that you won't really need to think about where you're going, but use this video as a guide, come down, and then walk up that one street towards the Stade de France and follow everybody else.
To the right?
Once we get there, to the right.
We're gonna come out here, walk around in this square area right here, just get our bearings. Probably gonna take a couple pictures, one of La Plaine Stade de France for a possible thumbnail. We're gonna see a sign right in front of us that says Stade de France. It has an arrow and it says 10 minutes for walking. And we're just gonna walk straight up that street. Gonna pull my phone out here, just take a couple pictures, and I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna show you the sign that says Stade de France, has that little walking symbol, it says 10 minutes. We're gonna start our walk. Just so you know, it says 10 minutes on the sign there. Now I'm talking to you after we did the walk. It actually took about 8.5 minutes, but we don't have thousands of people strolling along here together trying to get into an 80 or 81,000 seat venue. So there's nobody here today, so it took us 8.5 minutes to walk up this area, but you can only imagine if you've got 40,000 people milling around here on their way up to the stadium along this little corridor here, it could be slow moving. So plan accordingly. You know, once you get off at this RER spot here, it's going to take you a minimum 10 minutes to get from the RER stop to the stadium, and that doesn't include checking in, security, getting into it and finding your seat. This is a huge stadium. I'm going to talk a little bit about the stadium here as we walk. The Stade de France, also known as the Stadium of France, is the national stadium of France, located just north of Paris in the commune of Saint-Denis. Its seating capacity of 80,698 makes it the 6th largest stadium in Europe. The stadium is used by the French national football and rugby union teams for international competitions. It is the largest in Europe for track and field events, seating 78,338 in that configuration. Now, I have seen a Diamond League track and field competition here. It was great. During other events, the stadium's running track is mostly hidden under the football pitch. Originally built for the 1998 FIFA World Cup. On July 12, 1998, France thrashed Brazil 3-0 in the 1998 FIFA World Cup contested at the stadium. It will host the athletic events of the 2024 Summer Olympics. It will also host the matches of the 2023 Rugby World Cup. The Stade de France, listed as a Category 4 stadium by UEFA, hosted matches at the 1998 FIFA World Cup, the UEFA Champions League finals in 2000, 2006, and 2022, as well as the 1999 and 2007 Rugby World Cup, making it one of only 2 stadia in the world to have hosted both the Football World Cup final and the Rugby Union World Cup final, along with Nissan Stadium in Yokohama, Japan. It also hosted 7 matches at UEFA Euro 2016, including the final where France lost to Portugal 1-0 after extra time. We've talked about the Stade de France and the sporting events that it has hosted, but the stadium also hosts music concerts. And I'm just going to read a list of bands or musical acts that have performed at the Stade de France. So you've got the Rolling Stones, Beyonce, Coldplay, Depeche Mode, Metallica, Prince, U2, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Rihanna, Celine Dion, Bruno Mars, Black Eyed Peas, Tina Turner, Jay-Z, Red Hot Chili Peppers, One Direction, Eminem, Lady Gaga, Paul McCartney, Madonna, The Police, and BTS, and more. I also just want to talk about the noise record. On the 12th of May 2012, the French heavy metal band Gojira performed at the stadium as the opening act for Metallica during their European Black Album tour. Gojira's concert was measured at 120 decibels in the corridors backstage, which broke the record for the loudest sound ever recorded at the Stade de France. On the 11th of April 2015, the crowd noise produced by the 80,000 people at the Stade de France during the 2015 Coupe de la Ligue final reached 109 decibels, which set the world's record for the noisiest stadium recorded during a final match of a football tournament. Now, the purpose of this video really was to show you how you can get from Paris City Centre using the RER B line up to the Stade de France. And I chose this way, the RER B line, because I thought it was, number one, probably the cheapest, cost 2 to 4 euros. Number two, I thought it was probably the fastest. I went from Saint Michel, Notre Dame stop in 11 minutes up to this stop, and then I've walked, and it's taken me roughly 8 minutes to walk to the Stade de France here. So I'm thinking it's probably the quickest. Number three, I still think it's the safest, because once you come out of that RER station, you just go up one street, and when you're with a lot of other people, there probably is fewer chances of you getting mugged or pickpocketed or something like that. If you just stay with the flow and just keep swimming upstream with everybody, I thought maybe this might be the safest way to do it. So the question is, are there other ways to do it? And yes, there are. The other option is the RER D line is about 3 or 4 blocks west of here, and it'll come up, but you have to kind of make a couple lefts and rights and go through a neighborhood. It's farther and it's a little bit more complicated than the RER B line, because once you get the RER B line, you just go up one street, straight shot right up to the stadium like we're doing right now. RER D line is a little bit more complicated. It's a little bit farther to get from that stop to the stadium. But you might be close to the RER D line somewhere in Paris, and it might be more convenient for you just to get on that, and it'll take you right up there. Now there's another metro stop that stops north of the stadium. I believe it's line 12 or 13. I'm going to do another video on the other ways to get to the Stade de France, but that would be another way, using the metro. Another way is just grab a taxi, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. You look at the RER B line, 2 to 4 euros. You catch a cab up here or Uber or something, it's going to be a lot more. But is it going to be more convenient? Is it going to drop you off closer? Maybe it will. Maybe you want to pay for the convenience. I get it. Another option is to drive your own car up here. So I'm just saying that parking is going to be tough. It's going to be expensive. You're going to be bumper to bumper coming up the highway. So I just think that when it comes to ease, I think the driving option, when it comes to traffic and paying for parking and gas, etc., I think it's going to cost more. I don't think it's really going to be that much more convenient. You might be parking farther away from the Stade de France than you would be if you got off the RER. There's no guarantee that you're going to be able to park closer. So all things considered, for me, I just thought that the RER B was probably the best way to get from Paris city center up to the Stade de France, and that's why I did this video. Now, if you have any other kind of options or any other information, I've only been in Paris for 2 months, so if you've got some other information and you can let other people that are watching the video, give them some information or some other suggestions about getting from Paris city center up to the Stade de France, please pop them in there. I'll pin your comment so that we can all have a look at them and learn from them. Just want to say thanks for coming along on this walk with me from Paris city center out to the Stade de France. This will be the center of the athletic world. 2024 Olympic Games will be held in this stadium here. If you have any questions, pop them in the comment section. Other than that, I just want to say, ciao for now.